Welcome back, Artist Heart. I'm Aaron Jack, and we're going to have Stephan Van Kuyk on here from Berlin. So, welcome. Never know. Never know. Never know. We are going on live. Number 50, interview 58 is today. So, we're going to come on. Feel free to ask questions in the comments. Say hi. Hey!
Hey guys,
Hey, how you doing?
pretty good, pretty good.
Yeah?
Happy to be here, connecting from Berlin.
Nice. Nice. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Like what are you up to? What are some of these different projects you're working on now and how have you gotten there?
Yeah, sure. I'll just give like the 5 minute story because I think that the best way to understand what I'm doing, which is kind of like 11 projects at the same time, it's better if I tell the story and then it makes a little bit more sense. So I'm Stephan Van Kuyk. I am 30 years old, 32 years old. Time passes. I was born in Switzerland. When I was a young kid, I moved to New Zealand. I lived there for 5 years. When I was around six, then I moved to Brazil. I lived there for 15 years. And when I was 18, it was time to go to the university. So I went to Buenos Aires and I studied there in Argentina. And 5 years ago, I moved to Berlin. And the thing is, I always thought about like doing something creative. And for a while, I thought I was going to be a musician, but I actually don't play piano as well as I would like to. And then I went back into arts. I've always, as a kid, I liked crafts, I like crayons, I like drawing, painting, and whatnot. But I never pictured that as a career or whatnot. Up until a friend of a band, a friend that had a band told me that he used to do paintings on the side, it's a side thing. I was like, yeah, it's like being in a band is cool. Yeah, but you cannot play an instrument that well. So, being an artist could be cool too. So I just started going back into painting. I kind of like connected with that childhood thing. And I decided I want to be a professional artist. I didn't even know what that meant back then. I think I still don't know very well. But I started painting again, experimented with a lot of things. And just before I moved out of Brazil, I did, my first official artwork. And then I moved to Argentina, where I kind of like went to university. And that's when I started, painting more often and started looking for galleries and exhibitions. And, I figured, if I want to be a professional artist, I need to show my work. And I thought, yeah, like galleries, let's go. Knock on the door of the gallery. It's like, yo, I want to show you my art. And they're like, who you? Who are you? And they're like, no, man, it's like, this is not how it works. We don't know who you are, so we're not going to see your art. And I was like, then how do I get into a gallery then? And there's like, I don't know. So I had actually like my first couple of exhibitions, group exhibitions and stuff like that, usually when you start. But I thought, it's like none of these galleries really wants to show my stuff, like on scale. So I thought, if they don't want to give me the exhibitions that I want, I'll just organize them myself, I'll just like do it myself. And I started talking with artist friends that I thought were cool and with a bar, and I was like, yo, let's put some paintings on the wall. We invite a bunch of friends, you sell more beer, and we get to show our art. And it just kind of like snowballed from there. It made me notice that there were so many artists out there that needed to show their stuff, but nobody was willing to take the chance, that risk, that excitement of let's show some new cool art. and I started doing exhibitions. And then I started a magazine to show these galleries, these artists. And it was a very cool format. This was in 2012, and it was a postcard with a QR code, and you could download a PDF of the magazine. But that was like in 2012. Nobody even knew what a QR code was back then. And that evolved into an art gallery. So we started selling art by other artists, and we opened a gallery in Buenos Aires that was like amazing. And then I kind of felt that Buenos Aires was getting small, and I decided to move to Berlin. I moved to Berlin 5 years ago, packed a little suitcase full of artworks from my favorite artists, and started selling them through the European market, mainly online, because I literally did not know a single person when I moved to Berlin. So I just figured I'm going to use the internet. And it's been going very well. Well, it's been working. And so, like 2 years ago, I also started going into giving public talks and seminars and workshops, teaching artists how to get more visibility, use online marketing to get their stuff going. And that developed into a community of artists that I've been fostering. And a year ago, I was kind of accepted into a German TV show, into a German TV channel, and was able to start hosting a TV show, like self-produced, called Berlin After Dark, where we interview creatives. And yeah, basically that's kind of like the spiel. That's all the projects. All these projects, they're still active one way or another, but that's how, I went from lone artist to, I don't know, small time art world entrepreneur. So yeah, and all these projects are ongoing at the moment, one way or another.
Wow. And so then you have your pineapple series now, right?
Yeah. That's a little kind of new project. It's still undergoing, but the idea is to democratize a little bit the art world. So the idea comes from this banana that Mauricio Catalan exhibited in the Art Basel Miami this year. It was basically a banana taped to a wall. And the thing is, it's sold for 120,000 euros, dollars, which is like great. Mauricio Catalan is like super genius and funny, but that's not really that really doesn't show what the art world is all about. That's like one artist of a group of 20, 30 artists and 30 galleries. That is all that the media always talks about. And there's tens of thousands of other artists out there that need space and need opportunities and are doing great job and should be seen. So the idea is to create a pineapple taped to a wall and sell 12,000 copies of it at the modest sum of 10 euros, and using the profits of that to host a series of exhibitions where we show young, exciting, emerging artists and sell their artworks for less than 1,200 euros, which is 1% of the price of the banana. So it has a little bit this parallel about the 99 versus the 1%. So I don't know. It's gonna be fun.
Wow. Wow. So when did that start? When did you decide to do the pineapple?
The pineapple is a whole thing. I've been doing like pineapple paintings one way or another since 2015 when I moved to Berlin. I kind of figured, I lived most of my life in Latin America, which is known by banana republics and mainly as fruit exporters and just the only thing good coming out of there is like fruits and tropical fruits. And Latin American culture is about so much more than that. But I wanted to kind of play around with this idea and bringing my tropical pineapples to Europe and selling them all over the continent, so and it pineapples are just fashionable, so it actually worked both ways. It's like a half fashion statement, and they're just pleasant to have in your wall, and people love them, so it kind of worked out.
Cool. So what's going? Where are you right now?
Mm. I am in my room in Berlin, which also marks as gallery. So there's like art everywhere.
Do you want to show us around?
Yeah, so
You can give us, some up close and personal.
that's my yeah. Let's
Nice.
see. Okay, so this is a Marilyn Monroe with a pink burqa that I did a couple of years ago. This is one of my artworks. This one is by an Argentinian artist called Pseudochromatico. And this one here, not falling everything. This one, him here, is another one of his. It's just like a beautiful piece. I love it. This is his cool with pineapple glasses. That's not an artwork. That's just fun.
How do you differentiate what is fun and what is art?
Because I didn't upload it to my website and didn't try to sell it yet. So this is like a 3D artwork, so if you can see sideways. And it's like a geometric 3D shape. That one is from mine. This is a Tatiana Gomez. She's a Argentinian tattoo and illustrator. This one is one of mine. It's Cristiano Ronaldo. This is a little sushi geisha from a Berlin artist. Here's another one of those 3D thingies. This one is mine too. There's like some senso lips. And this is one of my older artworks. This is from 2014. And this is pretty cool. This is like buff Aquaman.
Cool.
So yeah, this is kind of like the artwork that I have laying around home on a regular basis. And they are from artists that I represent, that I'm selling the work here in Europe, so while it doesn't got sold, I get to enjoy it at my place, so win-win.
Sounds like a win-win. So
Yeah.
how have you been connecting to the art world in ways to sell your own work and sell other people's work?
Well, I think that the main thing that been working for me is just how open I am about posting that I have art for sale. I think that one of the problems that a lot of artists have is this shame or fear of stating, yes, my art is for sale. So I think just taking action and affirming that your art is for sale is crucial, and a lot of artists lose out on that opportunity. So that was phase one. You go to my website and you can see that stuff for sale. It's like no questions asked. Got buy buttons, they got prices, they got pay with credit card. It's like it's basically the same e-commerce platforms that you would use to buy books or anything online. It's familiar. So that's the thing. It's like, first off, show up for the game, and then my background, while I was still a young and starting artist, I used to work in a graphic design and marketing agency. So let's say I learned a couple of tricks over there, and I'm using the same things that normal brands, e-commerce brands are using for selling sneakers. I copy paste that into selling art. So the same strategies as them. Email newsletters and online marketing and social media ads, it works for selling stuff online. So it's just a question of nice storytelling, and you can sell art online too. So that's a little bit what I've been doing.
Wow. So could you explain some of these techniques that you're talking about? Because I think some of the audience would just be
Yeah,
interested in
yeah, sure,
knowing a little
sure.
bit more.
Sure. So I would do that. The first place that you should start is build an email campaign, because social media is all fun and games, but you don't really own that traffic. So you should be using your social media to attract people that are really interested into your work, into a email sign up where you can really have a one-to-one call, send them an email, and you know that that email is going to get there. So that's phase one, make that your center of attention. Second, have like a clear website, and setting up an e-commerce and an online shop today is like hella easy. When I started doing websites back in like long time ago, it was hard, but now 5 clicks and you have a store up and running. So really make your website look like any other online shop out there. Follow their guide and just make your artist website into an art store. And then run some mindful social media. You should have a video introducing yourself and your practice as an artist, like a welcome video, like, hi, I'm Stefan, I do this and this art, I come from here, these are my inspirations. Make it under 1 minute and run some Facebook ads on it 24/7, like one, two, three, $5 a day, just so you can get more people acquainted with you. And when people click on that, you can send them to a page. When they click on the ad, they send you to a web page where you can see some artworks and subscribe for your email for a 10% voucher on a purchase. And bam, you just hooked yourself a fish, you know. And they might not buy something now, but they're going to be on your email list. You can retarget them for special Christmas sale, coming around the corner, so that's the thing. You need to have your fish trap ready. I don't know if fish traps are a thing, but you have to have a platform where somebody that comes interest has the tools to buy that without a million back in, if somebody has to email you saying like, hey, I saw that artwork on your website, is it for sale? You're doing it wrong. That person needs to drop on your email on your website and see that the artwork is for sale, and you can buy it with credit card, and we do worldwide shipping. But if it has to be asked, it's already a missed opportunity.
Interesting. So, what other things do you have to say to artists that might help them along this route? Because I get asked that question a lot. Like, what are these different things, and what should they focus on? And I like so you said email, the e-commerce website, the having it simple, easy for people.
Yeah. Usability is key. It has to be a situation where people land on your page and it's there for sale and without struggling a lot. I think that going back to your question, what I think that is the main thing I would talk to artists about is your story, and that is like the mother brand of all this stuff of e-commerce that I was just talking about. You need to be, as an artist, capable of telling your story, and that means writing about yourself and writing about each artwork. Because if you just publish the work's photo without any context, it just gets lost on everybody's feed, But if you pair that with a story, with an emotional connection of some sort, that's more likely to attract people. And then there's a story behind your post. And the same thing can be done with the pictures that you take of your artwork. You might need to have a picture that's only the artwork without anything around, That's the basic picture that you need. But then go the extra mile and take some pictures of tiny details of the artwork, of the texture of the artwork, if it's a thick painting or if it's a framed picture, you know, of the finishing of the framing. You know, you need to tell the story of that artwork, and then you finish that off with what what I call in context picture, which is the artwork hanging in a beautiful context. So like a nice living room or a beautiful dining room. I call it also the hipster shot, you know. And if you don't have a hipster living room, just look online, fancy dining room mock-up, and you just put it there with Photoshop, and it really helps collectors and art buyers imagine what the artwork would look like in your home. So it's just part of the storytelling. You know, you're selling art, so it's very important that that goes paired with the story behind it somehow.
Interesting. So we have a question from Henrietta. What about getting into galleries? What would you say?
Oh, I got a good trick for that one. And it worked for me twice. So, uh, galleries hate being showed artwork to them, you know. So showing up there with a folder is very unlikely. But you need to get your way to show your work anyways. So first off, I would recommend artists to focus on their own visibility strategies. You know, so get yourself out there. You know, contact art magazines, art interviewers on Instagram, for example. You know, get your name on the internet. You know, take care of your social media, your website. You know, look professional, you might say. So then you have the base, you know, of your art career per se. You use that as somewhat leverage in the future. But what you're going to do is you're going to research galleries that actually make sense working with, you know, so you have to check that they work with artists that are at the same level as you or the same style or technique. You know, if it's a photography gallery and you do street art, it's just a waste of everybody's time if you write them an email. So do your research, and what works, especially if with the galleries close to you, is if you become a frequenter. If you go there for every opening and every viewing, you know, every event that you have, you show up there and slowly become acquaintance. And the main key here is to generate interest in yourself, you might say, by talking about them. So you would meet the gallery owner and ask how the gallery has been running, how they choose this artist, what does he look in an artist, you know, and don't make it about yourself as an artist, make it about then make it about them, the gallerist or the gallery or the curator, you know, puff their ego a bit. And then almost 99% of the times, over a period of times of going to the same gallery and connecting with the same people, they will ask to see your work. And if you did your research well and you're dealing with people that are a good fit for your work, great things happen from there. You know, both the galleries that represent me, I met them over this strategy. I target somebody as like, this is the perfect art manager for me. How do I show her my work without sounding desperate? So I just built an environment where we were talking about art, where we were meeting for coffee and discussing business and whatnot. Wanting to find out more about her work, but that made her familiar with my work, and then she decided to take me on as one of her artists. And that's usually the same approach that I use with artists that you know are trying to work with me as an art dealer. So it's very rare that somebody sends me an email and let's go through and work together. It's more about genuine relationships, you know, and a couple of interested emails and you know, generating even online. It could be like generating a connection, you know. But yeah, I would say that the best way to get into galleries is by the side door, not the front door, you know.
That's really good advice. Go through the side door. Always walk through the
Hmm.
side.
Yeah,
How's that?
yeah, yeah. Or wait until you get invited, you know, because if you're doing your online social media on point, if you're, you know, getting mentioned in magazines, you know, if you build your, I cannot state this enough, artists should be out there selling their own work directly to their audiences, because then you just come to the gallery with an Excel sheet, is like, hey, I just sold these 20 works this year. There is a market interest for my work. Let's do an exhibition and get a piece of the pie together, you know. But I have market tracked already, you know, and that's different, you know, when an artist shows up without any experience or prior, you know, and even if it's not real gallery experience, if you're owning it on social media game, that levels up, you know.
If you're owning the social media game, then you've got it. Then you've got the first foot.
But it could also be, you know, that you're not like artist influencer, but you're really good at putting your prints for sale on other platforms, and that's taken care of. Or that you're connecting with collectors on an email basis. Like if you get your shit together as an artist, it's much more likely that a gallery will want to deal with you, because I can see it from my side as a gallerist too. I don't want to work with unorganized artists. I want to work with artists who have their website on point, that have some social media presence, not just influencer crazy, you know, super popular, but like some sort of, you know, behind the scenes of their art world. I need them to have like a press kit ready, you know. I need them to have pictures of their artwork ready, an inventory. I as a gallerist, I cannot babysit anybody. So when an artist comes up with like everything floating without any organization, it's very hard for me to take that on, because it's an actual work. So I would recommend that the artist can build their own tiny art business. Even need people like me, like a gallerist. You can just sell you directly to your audience, and you know,
Yeah.
and
Um.
keep the 40%.
Cool. So you mentioned about a press kit. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Mm. Yeah, a press kit would be a piece of data that you send to a magazine or a publication talking a little bit about your work, you know. So you want to get your work published by magazines and blogs and stuff like that. So what you would do is prepare a little online folder like on Dropbox or Google Drive, rather than a WeTransfer that expires, you know, to try a online cloud service that doesn't expire. And you're gonna put some photos of your artwork, all of them named, you know, correctly labeled, you know. It's like your name underscore the name of the artwork dot JPEG, for example. And you're gonna put a PDF, no, not a PDF, like a Word document or something easily editable, with some text about you and some biography, or what you are talking about. If you're talking about a new series of work or a new exhibition that's coming up, but just kind of like your press blurb. And that is kind of like, it's kind of like giving the reporter an assignment, you know. Here's all the material that you need if you want to write something about me, you know. And it's very important that these files do not expire, because it could be some some time until the journalist has time to see it, and it should be super editable. But what you want to do with that is kind of like, again, the research part, which is very important. Research magazines and blogs and big Instagram pages that like sharing art, and reach out to them, explaining a little bit, write a personalized email to each one, and talk a little bit about yourself, and offer the possibility of doing an interview or a article about your stuff. So the
Interesting.
main thing there might be to really do your research, so you know that you're sending it to the right journalist or the right writer, but
Right, because their job is to go out and find people.
Mhm.
So they're looking for people to figure out like who fits in with all of their things. I mean, I
Yeah,
know
yeah,
this
yeah,
is
yeah.
being a journalist, so like
Yeah,
in my other world,
yeah,
my
and it
talking
could be
world.
like journalists, but it could be also like a little bit less highbrow, and it could be like cool blogs that share, trendy art, and that's oh, not a journalist, but that's the form of new media that's very, very good at sharing this content. So also Instagram pages that are showing cool art could be a way to get some traction too. So I think that the idea of media changed a lot, so we can flexibilize a little bit as artists. There's like new venues to show stuff, and that's very important and interesting.
Yeah. So all of these new venues. So you're talking about blogs, you're talking about Instagram, you're talking about also across social media, you're talking about emails, in person, which in person is changing now with COVID, right? There in Berlin. Like how has that been affecting everything?
Well, it was very unexpected because the government actually helped the art community a lot, and each creative freelancer folk that were under bad situation could apply to get like a special help to just keep them afloat. And that I thought like was a very, very, very significant approach, giving this opportunity to the art world in special, because it's really like kind of forgotten. But what I've seen is a lot of people really trying to use this opportunity to maybe take a step, not backwards, but like slow down a little bit the rhythm of their art career, and focus on the structures, because before this I was running from one exhibition to another, just doing stuff for projects, and oh, I need to do a painting for this exhibition, I need to do something to show there. It was just like kind of like a rat race. And these last months let me slow down a little bit on that side and focus a little bit more on the structure of my art career and my art business. So revamping the websites and thinking about funnels to acquire more customers and sell to them. Building this kind of online structures that are important, but were a little bit neglected just to the day-to-day hustle.
Wow. So what are some of these things that you maybe realized in the last few months that you're like maybe some wow moments that you might have come to from stepping away from the rat race?
Um, I think it was just that I can, but I haven't yet. But I've visualized that I can build some sort of online art selling machine running on ads and self-feeding. I'm just like working on it, but I kind of took this time to realize that, yeah, maybe this could work up on a scale. And that paired with the new project that we're doing, it's called the Artist Stop Being Poor Gallery, which is selling limited edition art prints from over 40 artists from all over the world, and new artists are being added daily almost. And what we're doing is we're selling limited edition art prints to real people for real accessible prices for art. So we're trying to break away from that idea that you need a couple $1 million to play around in the art market. And it's like, no, for 30 euros, you can buy a limited edition print that comes with the certificate of authenticity. There's only 30 copies of this artwork in the world, and you're helping an artist, and you're helping the 99% of the art world, not those same 30, 40 people that are always in the magazines. There's like a lot of art out there that needs more visibility, so it's what we're trying to do.
Wow. So tell me more about this platform that you're building, because this sounds fascinating and it seems like maybe it's something that you'd like more people to know about right now and
Yeah.
how they can get involved.
Yeah, well, to get involved, just send me a DM, show me your work. My DMs are always open for artists to show their stuff. And so it's basically a platform called Artists Stop Being Poor, which is kind of like the art collective that I've been building to help empower artists over the last 2 years. And what we do is we have an open call for artists, and the artists that wish to submit their work and get